Hey folks, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how we can utilize InDesign's automation features to manage marketing material for an entire company. And I want to try to do this with only one InDesign file. So basically, what are we trying to achieve here? Let's say you're doing the marketing material for a company and you have multiple people working at multiple branches across the country or across the globe. You are in charge of receiving orders from that company where they're going to say, "Hey, I need some business cards for this person from this branch, and I also need some flyers for that person for this branch, and at the same time, I also need some yard signs done up for this person at this branch." So obviously you can utilize some features of InDesign like data merge to produce variable data documents, and that's fairly easy to do. I'm sure a lot of you have seen a lot of videos about it, but today we're going to go a little bit deeper. So in front of me I have a folder here, and I have some different images and different InDesign documents. And basically, just to give you some kind of structure of how I have this set up, I have a CSV file that has all of our data merge information, which I have here. Just got person's name, title, their phone number. Obviously, all this stuff is made up. And specifically, this is going to be for a pretend travel agency. So obviously, you can see here they have multiple people across different branches across the United States. Everybody has a photo of themselves, which I have right here in this images folder. So if I open this up, here's a picture of Mr. Singleton here, who is our CEO, and all of his information here. Okay, so I have all of this located within an images, and I have the CSV file drop directly in there, so I don't have to worry about linking photos specifically. If you want to go into a little bit more detail, there's plenty of great videos out there about how data merge works. I'm not going to go into the details today, but if you have a question about it, just feel free to leave it down in the comments. I'll be happy to help. And so besides that, I also have some folders here that have some additional InDesign documents. I also have some of the links, like some of the pictures that we're going to be using in some of these documents, as well as a logo. Here's where you can kind of split this into two ways. Either you can do all of your designing directly from within this single InDesign document, or you can use other InDesign documents to link to, because let's say there's a flyer or a certain marketing material that updates regularly, and you don't want to keep it all in just one file. You want to keep those separately. You can always link to those individual files in different folders. Or you can do all of the design work directly within your, what I call here, master document. So let me open this master document up and let's take a look at what we're working with here. So as you can see, this is a business card here. Let me zoom in. If I pull up my data merge, I have my file selected. So I have all of my different fields to work with here. And this is a fairly simple one. Let me hit my W key here. So you can see there's the photo that's linked, first and last name, title, pretty standard stuff, right? If I click on my preview, you can see it automatically fills in the information as I scroll through. Simple stuff. Probably seen it in tons of different videos and different scenarios. Other thing you may or may not have played with before is alternate layouts in Adobe InDesign. So here you can see I've created multiple layouts here for what I call business cards, flyers, envelopes. There's one for letterhead and one for a yard sign here. And if I kind of just scroll through here, you can see this is the front page of this, the back page of this. Here's a flyer. Let me zoom out. Here's one flyer for a travel tour to Bali. Here's another one for Alaska. I'll go here, and here's a number 10 envelope. Here's a letterhead. And then lastly, we have a 24 by 18 size yard sign, I kind of go away here, you can just see. So you have multiple size layouts from within only one InDesign. And within this document on each page, you can see I have all of my data merge set up. So each one of these, if I scroll through here, I have my business card, I have my flyer with the data merge information, I have my envelope with my data merge information, here's my letterhead, etc., etc. So now what we could do is, if we want to output for a certain person, we can always go into our data merge here or preview, and let's say this person right here, John Doe, right? Record number 3. We get our order and we say, hey, I need a yard sign for Mr. John Doe here. So you can go in and you just go to export PDF, and you'll export all of the files from within this document, and you'll get your John Doe information on each one. However, if you don't want the other items, you'll then have to go in Adobe Acrobat and delete those pages out for all the unwanted versions. As well as if, let's say, not only are we doing just one, but maybe 2. Maybe we're doing one for Josh here and for John Doe, right? So you'd be outputting record 3 and 4. Or let's just say we want to do all of the records for the yard sign. Let's say it's maybe the company's having a promotion and they just say print one for all of the agents across the entire network. So you need to print all different versions for however many records you may have. Which is fine, except that now you also have a record for a business card, for a flyer, for a number 10 envelope, a letterhead, and you don't want any of those things. So how do we isolate just those versions one at a time? Well, one of the new features that rolled out with Adobe InDesign in 2024 is the ability to hide and show pages. So if I go back into my Pages tab here, you can see these little icons that are on each of the pages where you have a little slash through the eye there. And basically what I've done is, as I've created each one of these layouts, I've gone and just right-clicked on each page and go to hide spread. And in this case, it's hidden. So if I click show spread, you'll see that now the icon disappears. And so basically what that allows us to do is to select only certain pages to show up when we do our output. So right now, if I just go up to File Export and export this file or this InDesign document out, it will only export this first page here of this business card layout. And if I hit hide, and right now if I go up to export, what it's going to do is it's going to tell me there's nothing to export. And you'll see here, I'll just hit enter again, and now it gives me this warning here. All spreads in the document are marked as hidden. Ensure that one or more spreads are no longer hidden. So basically it's telling you that even though you're trying to export the PDF, there's nothing to export because all of the pages inside of your document are set to be hidden. But if I unhide this and click show spread, and now if I go to export and I just hit OK, now it shows me only one of one. There's only one page, and it's this version right here that I was currently looking at. And obviously if I unhide all of these, so if I select all of them here, let's see if I can select all. Nope. Just shift click and show or hide spread, show spread. So now if I export, I will end up with a multi-page PDF file. Once it finishes here, it might take a second. So you'll see there's 7 total pages. Here's the business card front, back. Now it goes to a flyer. Now it goes to the envelope, the letterhead, and then finally the yard sign. So by hiding and showing these pages, it allows us to select just the ones that we want for our output. So in this case, like I said, if somebody orders something and they say, I want just the yard sign, I can go ahead and click just the yard sign here and say show spread. Now if I go back to my data merge, let's just say I want to output data for everybody involved, right? I only have 7 records here in my CSV file, but obviously you can pretend that you have hundreds of people working across the company. So let's just say I'm going to go ahead and go export PDF. I want to say all records, and I'll hit OK, and I'll hit export. And this is going to take a second once I hit save here, because this is going to go through. You can see it's going through all of the different pages throughout the document. Now, even though it's showing that it's exporting these other pages, it's actually only going to export the yard sign page because the other pages are hidden. So obviously I have some overset text here, but let's not worry about that. So after it's all said and done, here's our PDF. And you can see here, it's a 7-page PDF document, but it's only this yard sign. It ignored the other pages from the InDesign file, kept those hidden. And now as you see, as I scroll through, the variable data is showing up for each individual here. So now this is obviously a small sample size. If I go back into my pages, let's say you have hundreds of flyers, or if you also want to add postcards and add other items to this, you can certainly do that very easily. You just go up to create alternate layout. You give it a name. Let's say we're going to call it postcard, and then we're going to give it a size. So let's go ahead and go like 8.5 by 5.5. I'll hit OK. And you can see here at the end, it's given me a new layout called postcard, and it's used the information from the yard sign page. If I delete this here and go back, and I'll go back to create alternate layout again, you can see it says from source pages, and it's so basically what it's doing is it's pulling the information from whichever one I select. So if I go business card and I go 8.5 by 5.5 and I click OK, if I click on this, it's going to pull that information that I had here from the business card file. Now, again, here's where it kind of you can kind of deviate. You can either do your design work directly here in InDesign, or you can go ahead and just import InDesign files. And that's what I've done basically here on this flyer page. If I click here and I go to my links, you can see this here is fl001.indd. If I go back to my Finder, here is where this original InDesign file is. So I kind of lied a little bit in the beginning of the video, because obviously this one uses multiple linked InDesign files, but if you wanted to, you can obviously just do the design work directly in InDesign. You don't have to have a linked InDesign file to it or linked PDF. You can certainly have that as well, a linked PDF or Illustrator file, or just a simple JPEG if you just have a simple background you want to put in. And as far as naming convention, what I've done here is, obviously this can get a little bit tedious once you start adding multiple versions. Let's say if you ended up with flyers and you had 10 different flyers, and some of them were only 1 page, some of them are 2 pages. What I would do, or what you could do here, is you click on each individual page, you go up to the flyout menu here in Pages, and you go Numbering and Section Options, and then you simply give it a section prefix. So in this case, I have 2 flyers, right? I have flyer 0001 and I have flyer 0002. And let's say flyer 002 is actually 2 pages. So if I click on an additional page here, it'll create a second page. And you can see here, the naming convention is FL002, which is the name of our flyer here. And then this is 1 and 2. So page 1, page 2. Whereas this one only has 1 page. Now if I create another page here, this will be page 3. But let's say this is a start of a brand new flyer, right? I just click on this, go up to Numbering and Section Options, and I'll just give it a new naming convention here, 003. And so I hit OK. And so now this starts a new layout, basically. Underscore that. So now this is going to be the start of a new flyer, a different flyer version. So that way, if your customer is ordering and says, oh, I need FL001 and I need a certain person, then you can highlight this one, show this spread, hide the other spreads, and then go back into your data merge output just like I did before. And this allows you to only export that desired flyer. And obviously you can do it for multiple versions. Either you can do it for one version, two versions, however you want to do it, as long as you're hiding and showing the spreads. You can also put some of these items on a master page and have all of this information on a master document as well. If I go up here, each time you create a new alternate layout, it also creates a new alternate layout master. So as you can see here, there's the one for a flyer, and it's 8.511. The business card is smaller. The number 10 is a number 10 size, etc., right? We just created the one for postcard. This postcard here is 5.5, or excuse me, 8.5 by 5.5. I can put all of this data merge information on the master page if I want. However, InDesign does not allow you to put it on both, right? So if I can either choose from the get-go, I'm going to put all of my data merge information on my master pages, or I'm going to put my data merge on all of my individual pages. So you kind of have to make a design choice from the get-go whether you're going to do one or the other. But it allows you to have some flexibility, because if you have a common flyer design, right, you can go ahead and create 100 different flyers, and you can put that data merge information just on the single master page, and then you don't have to worry about changing it every single time. Or let's say you go down the road and your customer has some new layout for their data merge part of the document. Obviously, if you have 100 flyers, it's going to take you a little while to change that on each one. So if you do it this way, where you put it on a master page, you only have to do it one time, and it'll change it for all corresponding pages within your document. So hopefully that helps somebody out. We had a customer at my last job where they had tons and tons of flyers, and we were doing data merge for the little bottom information for their contact info, and they had to have their photo on there, their phone number, etc. But there was basically like hundreds of files that we used, and I always was thinking about, wouldn't it be better if we could always put this in like one document to manage the whole thing from one spot? And basically this is kind of a way to do it. So it allows you to automate this whole process. You would still probably end up having to do a little bit of sorting through Acrobat after it's all said and done, especially if I output all the different, let's say, business cards and flyers together at the same time. You don't want to have a flyer file and a business card file together in the same PDF when you send it off to your printer. So you might have to export some of those pages out from one another. But at least it allows you to have a little bit more automation, and you can do it all from one file instead of having to open 10 or 15 30 different files. We actually had a situation where there was a customer, the same customer, they had a new employee, and the employee basically said, I want 50 flyers of all the different flyers that we have. And so that was literally like 120 different versions. And so I had to go through and export through 120 different files, a PDF of each one, so that we could send it off to the printer. And it was very tedious and time consuming. If I had thought about doing something like this a long time ago, I could have managed it all from one file, and in just one click, basically, boom, I could have output all the versions for that one single person. Saves a lot of time in the long run. So anyway, I hope you guys got some use out of this. If you have specific questions about this, please let me know. I appreciate all of you who have stuck around to the end of this video. It's almost 20 minutes long now. I try to figure out a way that I can make it short, but this is obviously a very long and detailed video. If you want to support the channel, check me out on Patreon. I'll leave a link down in the description, or leave a super thanks down below. That really goes a long way. I appreciate all the comments. Just a simple like and subscribe if you haven't done already, or share the video with somebody else. It always goes a long way. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Take care.